Rajani madam also is a very famous anesthesiologist, and all the way from Mumbai she has come here. I think she is also in her career very busy. So two busy parents.
I would say, sir, my mother's sacrifice has been bigger, I would feel. Because I think that's what, as I told you, I had major values to look up to, I think, and I didn't ever feel the lack of role models, because my father was kind of the firebrand. He would do everything. He was an extrovert, go out, meet people, get them home, make us learn a lot of new things, make us participate. And one more thing was, he had a very excellent sense of humor.
Okay.
So when we were growing up, usually when people talk of a psychiatric hospital or a mental asylum, people would be scared to walk around, and they would be scared what the patients would do to us or something like that. But thanks to my father's humor, nothing which the patient was going through would at any time feel scary or like a horror story. It would always be tinged with, some kind of humorous lining, where we could understand the patient's point of view and what fun things happened in the hospital, how the patients got the better of him sometimes. They were smarter than him, and all those things were always there. So psychiatry never felt scary, or patients never felt like, oh my God, what would they do to us? But when this was my father's point of view, my mother, I think, her first major decision would be that she was born and brought up in a big city like Mumbai and had never been outside of it. And she tells me even now that before her marriage, she did not know that there was a place called Shivamogga, which existed. So taking such a big decision to move from a city to a very, very small place, Shivamogga at that point of time was close to rural only.
And culturally also very different.
Very, very different. And coming from an extremely nuclear metropolitan city family to a family which had like at least 20 people, each one thinking in their own direction, and still gelling very, very well with them. I think that was one major thing that I understood, that if you make up your mind, you can do almost anything, or you can adjust to any circumstance or surrounding. That was one lesson. Second thing is, she's an anesthesiologist by occupation, but once my father's practice got, and she was one of the first anesthesiologists to land in Shivamogga. So she was the one who brought Boyle's apparatus to Shivamogga, because earlier the anesthesia given here was ether anesthesia or something like that. So she started a lot of new things. She was a pioneer in her own way, but she was never very vocal about it, and she was okay with letting my father take the front stage. That was another thing that I learned from her. And the third thing is that after a while, though she was the only anesthesiologist and was in very high demand, there were about 7 or 8 hospitals here who used to depend solely on her. So she used to work, I think, 24/7 and more than that, because she used to work for those people. She used to come and work in our OPD, and also as a woman she had some responsibilities at home and to bring me up.
So many relatives.
So yes, so many relatives and people coming home, handling those guests, making dinner for them. That was a time where Swiggy and Zomato did not exist. So whoever came home, we had to cook for them. So I think she took on quite a lot, and she did it with a lot of grace and poise, which is something which I really admire in her. And I think even if I would do 10% of it, that would be considered too much, I think. So after a few years, when her practice got too busy, she gave up anesthesia and started helping out in our hospital full time. That was another thing which was very surprising, and I think very inspirational for me. That's something she had studied for so long, which was something of her passion. She could change and adjust to what was happening around and to the circumstance and to what was needed, and without a fuss. Not saying that I wanted to do that and it was a force that I had to do this, nothing like that. And she was the backbone, I think, because when my father used to go for community visits, or he used to go to multiple other places, he was the head of the Karnataka Mental Health Task Force. So he was traveling most of the time. And at that time, there were no other psychiatrists per se. So she would hold the fort in the hospital. She would manage the whole thing. So I think she's done quite a lot. She's the silent hero, I would say. She's done quite a lot, taken care of us very well, and always made us understand our values and never, stray away from what was required or what was right. So I think it's a difficult question to say whether my father did more or my mother did more.
Yes.